I asked myself why? Why God?
It was just like, Ronnie, are you okay? Are you okay?
I was so in pain. I didn't know what was happening.
Like, no, Ronnie, like, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I started screaming, my friend is dead, my friend is dead.
My name is Ronnie Basaija. I'm from Uganda and I live in Cape Town now. And I have a friend of mine who lives in Bethlehem, in South Africa, Bethlehem. So I went to visit him. Went to my room, looked around and tried to pack stuff because we were supposed to go for a film expo the early morning. So we were like ready for it. I went to bed, and the next morning at 6:30, that's when we were supposed to leave, Kelly came and knocked at my door and couldn't hear any response, and really looked at my door for 2 minutes.
Ronnie, can you hear me? I knocked on the door, I went there and there was no reply. So I thought, oh, worst case scenario, something is definitely wrong. So I just went to my dad and I was just like, I think something's wrong. And he was like, okay. And then he went to the door and he knocked and he was like, Ronnie, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Mark came because he had a spare key. Luckily enough, they had a spare key. And he knocked at my door and he couldn't hear any response. And he was like, oh, he's gonna open the door now. My
dad just walked in and we just saw this desecration in there. Ronnie was lying passed out on the floor. The lamp was destroyed. The table was completely destroyed, ripped apart.
I wasn't conscious. I didn't know what was happening, even though my eyes were open.
My mom was just like, okay, what must I do? She's running back and forth. My dad was just like, no, something's wrong. He's just trying to be like, Ronnie, can you hear me? Can you talk to me?
He immediately called the ambulance, and fortunately enough, the ambulance arrived very fast. In 5 minutes, I was put in the ambulance. They didn't know what was happening to me. They started calling the hospital, telling them that I'm coming. They're bringing someone, and they put me on a breathing machine that could help me to breathe, because at that time I was off, I had gone in coma. They scanned my whole body, and that's when they found out that I had a brain tumor, and it was as big as a cricket ball. I was in coma then for 3 days. I just went to bed. That was the last time I remembered. I went to bed, slept, and here I wake up in a hospital. It was so hectic for me. I was so scared. What kept me going, I remember that I have a God who never fails, and a God who knows me by name. The doctors came and they told me that they may do my brain surgery, an operation, and they told me it's a bit risky. I was taken to the theater. I remember that day in my mind I was singing the song, "The joy of the Lord is my strength." They made me to sleep. They did the operation in 2 hours. That was really for me, it was a miracle for me to see that I went in operation with all these big lights on me and 5 doctors around me, and taking only 2 hours, that intense 2 hours. and now I'm alive. I'm just smiling with them, talking with them, the doctors, and one asked me that, what keeps you like going with that energy? And I'm like, yeah, I serve a good God. I serve a living God. So they came, they told me, okay, you're gonna be discharged, you're fine, you can go home. And I was so happy because that was the moment I realized that God is a God of impossibles. I'm being operated and I come out alive with no effect. I can speak, I can write, I can walk, I can run, I can do anything. No effect at all. So I was like, God, you are a great God. If you can do this, you can do it for any other person. I was discharged from the hospital, and after that I came back to Cape Town. After 4 days in Cape Town, I went with the friends at Home Affairs. We came back with a train. The train started moving, and all of a sudden these robbers came in the wagon, the cabin that we were in.
Before we realized it's happened something like a dream, before we realized the guys started shouting, they got up and they took their knives from their pocket and they said, everybody bring your phones and bring your rings.
Get us your wallets, get us your gadgets and everything you have.
I saw that Ronnie was standing right by my side, so I saw that they were wrestling with Ronnie, wanted to take Ronnie's wallet.
They were really aggressive. They were like, give me everything. So this guy was really in anger, came towards me with a very sharp knife, like he wants to stab me, and he wanted to come straight to my heart.
And I look at my side, I saw that Ronnie was gone.
And luckily I missed to be stabbed in my heart and just passed near my hand. But because I pulled myself too much, I went through the glass window, so there was wind, so the wind pulled me out, and all of a sudden I found myself outside of the train, rolled over 3 times in air and fell down.
So immediately, I just, check, I peeped my head through the window because the window was broken, and I saw Ronnie fell. And when Ronnie fell, Ronnie was rolling and he lay down flat. So unconsciously, I started screaming, my friend is dead, my friend is dead.
When they reached the other station, Michael, my friend, came running towards the train rails, came running with a security guard to see whether I'm alive.
We started running and it was really, really hot, and it was about 2 kilometers away from where we stopped. So we ran and ran and ran, and the guys got tired and they said they didn't see anybody, so we have to return. And I said, no, I saw my friend fell, so we have to go back. So I encouraged 2 of the guys, and we kept on running and running and running.
So when I saw that it's Michael, I shouted his name. I was almost crying there, and I was so in pain.
Well, I started screaming, Ronnie, 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 and they stopped. And when I got there, Ronnie said, Michael, thank you for coming, thank you for coming. Ronnie was weak, he was shaking, and he couldn't even stand on his feet. And I told him to just relax and sit down.
When I fell off the train and I lay between those train tracks, I really felt like that was the end of my life. I had just finished the brain surgery. They called the ambulance, and the ambulance came like after 15 minutes. They took me to the hospital. They did a scan. After that, they did x-rays of the whole body, and they found out that there was nothing like internal bleeding. The only thing that happened, I just had a fracture. Very little chances of people that fall out of train are alive. And for me, when I was taken to hospital and the doctors were being told that I fell out of train. They were like, yo, you're a very lucky guy. I told them I'm not lucky, I'm just blessed by God. My God has been with me. For me, I have a smile, not because I just want to have a smile. I have a smile because I'm still alive and I serve a good God. The devil tried to kill and destroy me, but because of God's mercy and grace and love that endures forever, I'm still alive and here I stand.